So shalom everybody, thank you for joining our class. We're going to teach on the feasts because it's the preparation. In a few days we're going to enter this big 3 weeks long of celebration, which are very important for the year to come, for the blessings, for everything that is happening in our life. It is something that is very important, so we need to get ready. I mean, we already started to get ready, and you did, of course, during all the months of Elul. And now we are just at the eve of Rosh Hashanah, so it's even more crucial to understand exactly the meanings of all those 3 feasts, which are in fact only one. So let's do it. So for the one who wants to know more, we have this book that is called The Shofar of Redemption, which is a very in-depth study on all the meanings of the calendar. Why do we call it Rosh Hashanah? All the gematria, all the Jewish insights, Hebrew insights. I really recommend it if you don't have it yet. So Rosh Hashanah, which means the head of the year, marks an essential point and start. It's in fact like a return to the original unity, meaning to ourselves in Him. It's our journey, personal journey. This day of judgment is a day, in fact, of grace, mercy. And this is why we dress in white on Rosh Hashanah. So every year, this long day, because it's 2 days, it's tirelessly renewed to give us a chance again and again and again. And this really expresses the love of God for us. He's always giving us a chance, never judging, never condemning. And for us, Rosh Hashanah is not a day of judgment, but it's a day of rejoicing, comparing before the Lord who is giving us another chance. Try again, my child. So on Rosh Hashanah, there is also a power. There is that like an energy in the universe. It is the inner energy of the new departure, a new start. It's the energy of the new beginning. We call it the energy of the seed. It's a seed. Since we come back each year to renew ourselves, this seed awakens again every year at the same time on Rosh Hashanah to give us another chance. So we need to understand that this is the moment of the first appearance of the whole journey we call the world, the creation. It's the day of judgment, but because it's in this balance that all will be forgiven, and ending with Yom Kippur. And in the month whose astrological sign is the scales, it gives us the opportunity to weigh our actions. So it is also the day where we crown the king, because even the moon is not present. The king of kings, is the only one reigning in the heaven. So he doesn't really need us. He is king from all eternity. Adon Olam Asher Malach. He has always been a king. He was, he is, he will be without us. But he wants us to partake to this blessing, because when we have a king, we have abundance. When we are close to the king, we benefit from his abundance. He gives us the opportunity because he loves us. So Rosh Hashanah is about love. And the month of Tishrei, which is the 7th month, it's a month that is full of mitzvot. Okay, it's a month we say that we are satiated with him. A lot of mitzvot, a lot of food, even everything. It's the month that contains everything, his presence, and already starting from the month of Elul, with the blowing of the shofar in the morning and so. So what's more, Rosh Hashanah is the head of the month. Rosh, Chodesh means the month, but it has the same root than a renewal. Brit Chadasha is the same word. So it's a renewal. It symbolizes both renewal and change, because Shana is like Shinui. Shinui is change. We need to change on Rosh Hashanah. So it's the seed of all the months. It's like the matrix of the year. Every minute of this long 48-hour days represents the months of the year to come. So how we celebrate this day determines the year. This is today. Why 2 days? One of the simple explanation is that since the time of the destruction of the Second Temple in Jerusalem in 70 CE, And by the time of Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai, they couldn't check the new moon with precision. So they decided to give 2 days to Rosh Hashanah because it's such an important day. So the day is spread over 2 days to hear the shofar, whose really, what is the root of the name shofar is leshaper, meaning to ameliorate, to get better. So we are getting better year after year. This is the goal. We came on this planet to fix ourselves, to fix the whole creation. Tikkun, our tikkun, personal tikkun, and the tikkun of the whole world, like it's written in Romans. All the creation awaits for the revelation of the Son of God, who will have made their tikkun, because she suffered also trouble because of our mistake. So she's waiting, the earth is waiting for us. So we renew our vows on this long day, and we crown him in our life, meaning that one more time, I want you to be king in my life, in my heart, my actions, my desires, my achievements, everything that I long for. One more time, when there is the king, there is abundance. We partake to his meal, we eat well. So we have to be careful on that day of Rosh Hashanah to be happy, to be calm, serene, to be in simcha, because this is going to determine how the year is going to be for us, to be in whatever happiness we can. So when we are, because we are planting a seed for the coming year, you know, at Rosh Hashanah it is said that everything is decided until Yom Kippur for the coming year. Finances, relationships, shalom bayit, work, whatever. Everything is being decided in advance. It doesn't happen randomly during the year. So because we are getting ready, and because we know that we have been taking care of our trouble, of our bad things and everything inside us, we can expect to have a blessed year. And this is what we're doing on this long 2 days. So what judgment are we talking about exactly? In fact, is initial thought for each of us. And it was what he was thinking of us, how he planned us to become, the man and the woman he wants us to become, and how we are today. At what stage are we? Have we progressed? Is he the king really in our life? Look, in fact, we judge ourselves. He's not judging us. How far have we come to get close to him? Am I different than the one last year? This is similar to what we developed in the previous teaching about getting ready for Rosh Hashanah. So the shofar of self-improvement is sounding. And in fact, the shofar is not like a sound, it's a voice. Kol shofar. Kol is a voice. It's the Lord voice that we hear. The shofar has also the priority over the silver trumpets. Why? Because the shofar is natural. You just take a horn of a ram and you just remove some stuff and that's it. While the silver trumpets, they are man-made. So on the day of Rosh Hashanah, everything has to be made by God. And it also reminds us the sacrifice of Yitzchak, which is, of course, the image of Yeshua. It is his work to transform us. This is why we use a ram horn, to circumcise our hearts in order to crown him truly kings in every aspect of our lives, even in our emotions. If we have imbalanced emotion, it means that in that area he is not the king. So we need to work on it. So his voice resounds within us, but we don't always hear it. Why? Because he's not king all the time. So this is why he gives us Rosh Hashanah, because it's the seed of change to transform ourselves over and over again, to become more like him and his divine nature, that is to give. And for the one who are following the daily manna, and by the way, if you want to join our group, we have a Signal group in which we post daily manna. You are welcome. Just send us an email. So the manna of the day 2 days ago, it was our goal in life is first to recognize God, then to understand his presence in our lives, and finally to achieve unity with his nature. This was taken from Philip Bell, The Essentials of the Zohar. So first we receive the Lord, then we walk in holiness, erasing the works of the flesh, and finally we achieve unity with Him because we become like Him at the end, meaning that we cannot just say I want to be like you, Lord, and being in selfish or egoistic desires, because He is not. So we have to be like His nature, wanting to bless, to give, to help, to share. That's the goal. 1 John 3:2 tells us, dear friends, we are now God's children, and what we will become is not yet clear. We know that when He appears, we will be like Him, for we will see Him as He is. But in order to see and to recognize the good qualities in someone, we need to have them in us. Otherwise, we don't see them. Same for the bad things also. So during those days, we also sing, who you are sleeping, we are alluding in the story of Jonah, who was sleeping on the boat where there was the storm, wake up from the dead. It means that we are dead, we sleep when we don't hear or no longer hear His voice. And He wants to awaken us with the sound, the voice of the shofar. And this is the voice of Messiah. This is the way of the Messiah. Ephesians 5:14 takes this text from Jonah, and it says, therefore it is said, awake you that sleeps, arise from the dead, and Messiah shall give you light. Take heed therefore to conduct yourself circumspectly, not as fools but as wise. Redeem the time, for the days are evil. Each day we need to renew the time. And then we come to Rosh HaShana, we have a new start, fresh start. Because the shofar is calling us to change our ways and to crown Him. The goal of it is to crown Him Lord in every domain of our life. So with Rosh Hashanah, we begin 21 days to be crowned by the Simchat Torah, which is the celebration of the Torah, on the 8th day after Sukkot. And the wisdom of Kabbalah, biblical Kabbalah, teaches that Tishrei's holidays are actually, in fact, one big holiday that starts with Rosh Hashanah and ends with Simchat Torah, which is on the 22nd of Tishrei. The holiday's purpose is the rebuilding of the soul, our vessel, in order to give us a chance to renew ourselves. It's a complex process that is divided in different stages because we need to crown Him King in our lives. Then we have the 10 days of Yamim Noraim, the 10 days of judgment, the terrible 10 days, the awesome 10 days. And the tradition interprets that those two phases, first Rosh Hashanah, the 10 days, then Kippur, then Sukkot, Chol HaMoed, Simchat Torah. And they take the verse from Song of Songs of 2:6 that say, let His left hand be under my head, and let His right embrace me. So the first stage lasts for 10 days, from Rosh Hashanah until Yom Kippur. And this is the left side. This is about building our desire to receive, to change. It's a left side movement. It's a left column. This stages connects us to the creation of the Word, hence our recreation for the year to come. It comes from the left side. It's about judgment, putting things in order, and so this is the action of the let His left hand be under my head. And during this stage, we purify our desires to receive from all the negativities that have been attached to them. Egocentrism, or just thinking about ourselves and our own needs and not the others. So then the forgiveness, the repentance, and the self-examination, prayers, and the sound, the voice of the shofar, are tools that are meant to achieve this spiritual purification and this cleansing. So in order to receive the abundance for the year to come. So during this day, as I said, it is determined who will live, who will die, who will be rich, who will be poor, and so on. Then we have Sukkot. Sukkot starts the days of grace. This is from the right column. And this is Chesed. So we had Gvura on the left, an act of Gvura, the left hand. And then we have Chesed, Chesed, which is mercy. And Song of Songs, and let His right embrace me. First, we hold it, we create something, and then the right hand embrace me. And as Yom Kippur ends, the energy in the universe transforms it into the energy of the right column. So we go from the left to the right, and this is the energy of Chesed. Chesed, which is the right hand, and this is why Messiah is sitting at the right hand of the Lord. Is his right hand is the attribute of mercy. And this energy also enters our soul, our vessel, in different stages. According to the Ari HaKadosh, as Yom Kippur ends, the light of Chesed, which is this energy of life, enters our soul. And this light comes in direct correlation with our spiritual work, the work that we did in Elul, and during Rosh Hashanah, the 10 days of Or. And this is called the light of Chasadim, the light of mercies. This is all taken from the Zohar. And the Zohar tells us in Vayishlach, behold, all beginnings are difficult, but they are followed by relief. Thus, on Rosh Hashanah, every person in the world is judged according to his or her own actions. And remember, we are judging ourselves, in fact, because he's giving us a chance to fix everything, and we have to compare the state we are compared to the one last year. Did we get better? So then, after those days of difficult, because it's nevertheless you fast, and those are 10 days where you have to sound yourself, and so then comes relief, forgiveness, atonement at the end of Yom Kippur. That's it, and then it's followed by Sukkot, the rejoicing. And the habit is to start to build the sukkah just after the fast ends. So the Feast of Tabernacle, which is the Lord tabernacling, who is just dwelling in our midst. This is the same word as Mishkan. Shechina, Mishkan, Shochen, it's the same root. So the reason for this is that every beginning has the aspect of the left. Sometimes beginnings are difficult, or judgment are more severe, but later the right is awakened, as it is written in Shir HaShirim. His left hand is under my head, and then his right hand embraces me. Then comes the relief. So that's from the Zohar. And for Yom Kippur, Rabbi Akiva proclaimed, according to the Mahachal of Prague, the people of Israel are purified on Yom Kippur, Yom HaKippurim, to be more correct, because of their connection to Hashem, to the Lord. In the book Netivot Shalom, he explained that to purify oneself in a mikveh, which is a ritual bath, the water must be in contact with every part of the body without interference. That's the real mikveh, the real baptism. The same way, to purify oneself on Yom HaKippurim, one must be connected to Hashem without interference. So everything that is stones in our heart must be worked and pulled out, because this prevents the water of his presence to just bathe us. Each person's ego stands between him and Hashem, and this ego must be crushed to achieve this total osmosis. This is the secret of Yom HaKippurim purification. And according to the Zohar, the human body is a mirror to the 10 Sfirot, the 10 Sfirot that we have on the Tree of Life. The 10 dimensions that make up all the reality, because our world is only 1% of the reality. The remaining 99% are just this source of happiness, blessing that he wants to bestow upon us. And the Zohar says that esophagus corresponds to our physical world, which is known as Malchut, the kingdom of Malchut, which is the last attribute at the bottom of the Tree of Life. This is our word, the word of action, Asiya, and this is Malchut. So why is it so? Because food, physical liquids, the source of the nourishment and everything, they go through the esophagus when we eat and drink. So it is associated with the material world. And I want to show you something. I want to share with you this little here. Okay, you see, this is Veshet. Veshet is the esophagus. And it's written with a Vav. And when we are okay, when we do the commandments of the Lord, when we are dedicated to Him and everything, this is Veshet, which is also has the shape of a shofar. But then when we become indulgent with ourselves, we let our Yetzer Hara, our bad side and everything happening, we eat more than we should do, we don't keep the command and everything, this Vav becomes a nun that descends into materiality. And then when we arrange the same letter, Shin and Tet, we get Satan. So it means that we are creating our own Satan when we are not working in God's way, when we are not crowning Him in every area of our lives. And the Zohar continues and says that when our own physical desires are unleashed and when we choose the physical word over the spiritual, the Satan, which means the opponent, again invades all our bodies, everywhere, the arteries, the members, and everything during the year. And what is the solution? It's the Yom Kippur and the Shofar, Yom HaKippurim. So we know that we received the forgiveness of our sins by Yeshua, which is the wonderful, tremendous gift that we received. But each year, we cannot say that we're not sinning, right? So we can come each day and ask for forgiveness. But there are also special times, special appointed time that God has chosen in His Word to do this work. And this is Yom HaKippurim. So this esophagus, the windpipe, is just like the shofar, which is and the shofar correlates with the sphera of Bina, which is the source of abundance of which Yeshua spoke. The superior sphera, divine attribute that provides us with eating and drinking from His abundance. And like, for instance, you see Yeshua in John 4:32, He said to them, I have food to eat, which you don't know. Yeshua said to them, my food is to do the will of Him who sent me and to accomplish His work. Work not for the food that perishes, but for the food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. So this is why on Yom HaKippurim, because we tap into this upper attribute of God, which is called Bina, we fast on Yom HaKippurim because we don't need this food, in theory. But it's true that when you are just fed by all the prayers and the singing and everything, you don't feel like you are hungry. You're just transported in another area. You don't feel that much your body. And the same way, when this windpipe is not used, when we eat or drink, like the shofar, it's only air that gets into our trachea. On Yom HaKippurim, there is no food nor drink either, which means that Bina is the source of the nourishment. This is why Yeshua was saying this. He was tapping directly to the abundance. And the numerical value of the word Satan, HaSatan, is 364, which is 1 day less than the solar year, meaning that on that day, the Satan has no power. He's banished from this world. So blowing the shofar and observing Yom HaKippurim, we established a connection with this upper attribute of God. And then this nun here is being reduced to come back to Veshet here. And then we are in God's way. So even in our body, when we act and when we purify our body, our food, everything, our emotion, and so we then banish all the bad problems in our bodies. And Israel and those who attach to Israel function as the heart and the soul of humanity. The relationship between Israel and the rest of the world is comparable to the arteries of the heart that carry the blood and the oxygen to the rest of the body. The nations of the world, they correspond to the organs and the limbs of the body. And just the same way as the heart provides purified blood to nourish our body, Israel is meant to provide light to help all the nations of the world and through our respect of the word of God. And also what's happening in Israel those days when they are cleaning up all the evil that is around us and in the world, this is really a blessing that Israel is doing those ways. This is why I'm sending you back to this video about the necessity of the wars before the coming of Messiah. It's a very important video. Then our names are written in the book of life. May you be written in the book of life. Revelation, he who overcomes will be clothed in white garments. Rosh HaShana, white garments. Kippur in white. I will not blot out his name from the book of life, and I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. And then we come into the light. Sukkot, light is coming. So we are preparing this vessel again to receive the light for the whole year. The final verdict is not yet sealed. We have to wait until the end of Sukkot with the Simchat Torah. Why? Because our Yetzer Hara is still there. It's not like we became angels in 5 minutes, but we are working on it. And because we have Yeshua in our life, he helped us by the circumcision of our heart to do tshuva. What is tshuva? Is tashuv hey. Tshuva means to return. To return what? Tashuv hey. The last hey of the 4 holy letters have been separated to the 3 upper one because of sin. When we do tshuva, tashuv hey, we bring back the lower hey to the 3 upper ones, and we receive yud ke vav ke. And Yeshua helped us to do this because he's called the Son, is the Vav that is connecting us back, is connecting the last letter to the 3 uppers, through the middle one, the Vav. He is the mediator to bring back the 4 letters. So all the negativity can be fought again because he gave us the new birth. So Rosh Hashanah and Yom HaKippurim can elevate us to reconnect to our real self, our neshama, our real divine soul. But after with Sukkot, we can balance things. This is why we have the balance sign in this month of Tishrei. Balance is Moznaim. And in order to reach the balance attribute of God on the true life, that is called the middle pillar, that is called Messiah, Yod Ke Vav Ke, which is also called Tiferet. And Tiferet is about bringing balance in our heart. And one time I heard Rav Ben Rosh saying that Tiferet shares the same letters than therapy, the same thing. When we are in a good health, it means that we are balanced, good therapy. And then Yeshua, he was blowing the shofar. When did he blow the shofar? When he was on the cross. He cried out, Lama lama sabachthani. He cried out. And the Greek word that is used in this verse is the same as for the sound of tru'ah, of the shofar. So he was blowing the shofar, his voice. And then on the 15th of Tishrei, so then the surrounding light starts to enter our souls. And this light determines our motivation, vision, everything for the year to come. And this surrounding light is strong in intensity and quality, and it depends on how good motivation, the intensity we want to serve the Lord and everything, and the quality of this surrounding light means having a good vision, good values, purpose, wanting to persevere and to stick to everything that He's telling us. And then we arrive to Simchat Torah. Simchat Torah, it's like the balance in everything. Tiferet is the most important day. This is the day we read Bereshit again, and we start again the Torah cycle. That is the real start of the year officially in the upper realms. And then we have the birth of Yeshua, the birth. How can it be born? The birth of Yeshua at Sukkot, of course, because he came and he tabernacled among us, like the Feast of Tabernacles. He is a baby, okay? He's coming as a baby. Then you have Chol HaMoed, which are the 7 days between Sukkot and Simchat Torah. He's still a baby, and the light is softer. The light came at Sukkot, then it's getting softer and softer, but it's less strong, but the light is there, less strong than the first, but the light is filling up the 7 days. This is when they went in there in haste and found Miriam and Yosef and the little child lying in the manger. And when they had seen him, they told what had been said to them concerning this little child. And the light goes increasing in its power and reach Shmini Atzeret, Simchat Torah, the 8th day, which is the day of the circumcision. And this is what is circumcision, is the victory over the klipot, over the ego of our heart. It's not only the physical one, it is the spiritual one. And the light then is full because we overcame our Yetzer Hara, and we celebrated all the feasts. We got ready, and we are ready to enter the new year. Salvation is at hand. And it came to pass on the 8th day that the child should be circumcised, and they called his name Yeshua, which was the name which the angel had spoken before he was conceived in his mother's womb. For mine eyes have seen your salvation. Hail Yeshua, whom you has prepared before all peoples, light to lighten the nations and glory of Israel, your people. And the verse that we recite many times at Rosh Hashanah Rabbah, which is the celebration preceding Simchat Torah, the Shmini Atzeret, sorry. Yes, we hope in your salvation, O eternal, Yeshua Techa. We hope in your salvation. This is what the Jews will be repeating for the Feast of Sukkot. And what does it mean exactly that he was born? And in fact, forget the baby, he's born in us. It's our own. We are developing, he's developing in us as a baby, and then he grows until we get the full circumcision, the full light. The seed of holiness, of connection with him, is there, and it's growing and growing. This is why he was born. He was not born as a baby. And the feast of the Torah represents also the wedding, the cosmic union of the bride and the bridegroom, who will be united for unity, without spot or wrinkle, free from the ego and the will to receive for oneself. Everything is about this, how to become like him, not egoist, but sharing and giving. And to this day, I want to end here. In the Rosh Hashanah, you probably know this, I hope, in the Rosh Hashanah prayer ritual, an ancient one, the following prayer was said, not everywhere. May it be your will that the sounding of the shofar be woven in your heavenly curtain by the angel who is appointed to this task. And the name you have as accepted prayers by the hand of Elisha, may his memory be blessed, and by Yeshua, the Prince of the Faith, and Prince Metatron, and fills us with your mercies. Blessed are you who possess all mercies. Rosh Hashanah Marzor, Rabbi Yosef Soloveitchik from Kal Publishing. Amazing. And Yehuda Liebes, professor of Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah in the Department of Jewish Thought at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, traces references to Yeshua in Jewish liturgy to the earliest Jewish believers of the first century. And then Daniel Avrams, Bar-Ilan University in Ramat Gan, writes of the professor's research. Yehuda Liebes has brought to our attention a striking identification between Metatron, the archangel Metatron, and Yeshua in liturgy. And this angel Metatron is also called Yud-Ke Vav-Ke. So there's just tremendous blessing, tremendous things with those feasts, and all those feasts have been removed from the Christian calendar because we are not under the law anymore. So it's really time to come back home. That was really a short message, spanning very quickly all those deep celebration that we need to come back to them. So enjoy this teaching, share it, like it, and you are kindly invited to join us for Torah classes on Shabbat, virtual Bet Midrash. Thank you very much, and Shana Tova.